I am your brother in Christ, and welcome back. So today we have a bit of an interesting journey to go through. We're going to make a game plan for this year, try to accomplish it. Oh, this hat never goes the way I want it to, but my wife said, oh, it's your brother in Christ sort of thing, so you should wear your hat. So I'm like, fine, whatever. I wear a hat. I think it's the fact that I am, buzzed. That she thinks, oh, you don't have hair anymore. You need to have a hat. Like, but that defeats the purpose of not having hair. So I don't have to care about it. But no, she thinks I need a hat. So I wear a hat. Happy wife, happy life. You get that mantra down, you are going to be having a good journey. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit this on off. So what is going on? What is our plan going forward? And my wife's over there making her comments, of course. Yes, you're right. It works out. It's a nice hat. I do like it. I've always liked this hat. Not a big thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what's coming down the pipe this year. So this year, I've really decided to hit this hard. So I've made it a priority not to do one video a week, one live stream a week with you guys, but two. So we're doing this double time. And hey, welcome back. Long time no see. Yes, I've seen Spider-Man. It was pretty good. I greatly enjoyed lots of things about it. Not going to put spoilers in, not going to get that sidetracked. But afterwards, we can talk about it. Because I do have a Q&A section that I just designated for just talking about it. So yes, my wife and I did. It's an interesting show. It is very, very good. In my opinion, the best all year long. But be honest, probably best last couple of years. I think it'd definitely be in the top 5 all year long. So yes, I am glad to be back too. So game plan for this year, like I said, 2 live streams a week. One on Sunday nights, same time, 9 p.m. After I put the kids to bed, I come and do a live stream with you guys. And also on Wednesdays, we're going to hit Wednesdays as well. I'm going to try to keep the more politicsy stuff on Wednesday, but tell you truthfully, Christianity and politics kind of blend together. It really does, and you really have to be aware of both, unfortunately. You can't just ignore one. But I'll try to keep the politics on Wednesday, and Sundays will be more apologetics. So politics Wednesday, apologetics Sundays. Interesting. So what do we have coming down the pipe? If you've checked out my channel recently, you see the upcoming videos. I'm trying to keep upcoming live streams constantly up there on YouTube, so you guys know when they're coming, what times they're going to be, and what the topic's going to be, if you guys are going to be interested in it or not. So we have a new series that we are starting, which is Logic. The first one we'll be talking about is Logic of Abortion. This one will be focused not around the biblical arguments, but around just the logical standpoint. I believe that we have a logical God, and I believe therefore we can make our arguments logically. And I believe that you guys will be in the world, and you guys will not always be dealing with other Christians. So you need to be able to stand on logic, because non-believers aren't going to respect the Bible. They don't really care what the Bible said. It's an old book. Who cares, Atheists don't care. So you must be able to stand logically and say, no, this is why I believe God said this in the Bible. And this is where I stand. So we'll be doing abortion. That'll be the first one. Following that will be death later on. That we'll be talking about. That'll be the second one of the series. Will be the reality of death. Woo! Fun topics! Alrighty, starting this year off with fun topics. So then we have the tyranny of the unvaccinated. Will be one of the ones following that, which if I don't get banned on YouTube, we'll be following up with was Muhammad an anti-Semite? I say that one was inspired mostly because of the recent attack on a synagogue that we saw. Why is that a thing? there seems to be a lot of anti-Semitism in Muslim circles. I'm not saying that every Muslim is an anti-Semite. That would be stupid. It'd be beyond stupid. But is there a root behind it, or is it just happenstance? There seems to be a larger proportion of anti-Semites in Muslim circles than there are in the general population. So, hey, welcome back. Yes, you missed last Sundays. Don't worry about it. Again, like I said, I've got them all scheduled out. You can send me as reminders on YouTube. Boom. I'm on top of the ball. Let's see how long I get to stay on it this time. I explained my long absence in there. Basically, Elle and I were looking for a house, and I had to take priorities of my family and make sure they're set up. Long story short, we found one. It worked out great. It's a mobile home that we had moved onto our property. It was a lot of work. That's why the first live stream I did after coming back was dealing with being overwhelmed. Because to tell you truthfully, that was an overwhelming project. And I share some ways that I dealt with that. So, I know I don't normally take this moment, but I kind of do. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're on Rumble, which I will get to that later, by the way, go ahead and subscribe. And I don't know, Rumble, make a Rumble about it. I don't know what they're doing with their like buttons. It's really weird. They got the up arrows, and I'm not sure. And if you're on BitChute, go ahead and join us. So, what else is coming up next month? I believe that's it for the live streams that I have stacked up. I'm going to again be trying to keep up to date with those, keep them moving ahead so we know what topics are even a month out. That's a real pie in the sky sort of desire, but I'll try. You guys will get the best that I can do. And that's really all I can promise. You've had your ups and downs. Well, last year was a long year. I wouldn't say it was a terrible year. I'd say that we've had our goods and we've had our bads. And my pocketbook has definitely seen the better days. But c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Nothing we can do about it right now, not until November. Then we can blow this place up with our votes. Not any sort of actual violence. I'm not a Muslim extremist or one that happens to follow Muhammad. Going back to our next events coming up, one that I'm really looking forward to, and we're really investing a lot into this, is going to Doctrine for the Block. Elle and I will be attending there, not as speakers, but as just people that are there to enjoy the other speakers. So we'll be hanging out there with a lot of other... My wife asked me if I have a pocketbook. No, actually, no. It's an old phrase, but nevertheless. So Doctrine for the Block will be down there with a bunch of other apologists. It will be fantastic. Little Boy and Littler Boy will be coming down with us, our two youngest, which will be fantastic. It'll be a fantastic time. I could not leave Little Boy here with anyone because he has been looking forward to this so much. We're going to be flying in a plane, and he loves planes. So I told him we'll be flying in a plane, and now he asks me all the time, my plane, my plane, my plane. So we will be heading on down there. So if any of you guys are going to be heading to that, we will see you guys down there. Hit me up while I'm down there. We'll definitely, I don't know, do a video together even. We'll do a live stream together. How about that? So my wife is asking for prayers in the comments, which is fantastic. Oh, he's moving along with this stuff. Been good. Oh, that's unfortunate. Play prayers. We will keep that in mind. I will put that in the prayer request at the end. Please make sure I remember at the very end to lift your girlfriend up in prayer. So that's what we're going to be hitting there hard and going to this conference. I would like to hit a couple other conferences this year. No guarantees. Again, everything costs a lot. And unless they are local to where I'm at, I'm probably not going to be hitting them as much. But Doctor for the Block seems to be a fantastic journey, and I've been dying to actually go do it. So we are going to make it a priority and get it done in spite of the cost. So, no, talking about cost, unfortunately, or fortunately, it's kind of cool, actually. I think it's flipping fantastic. My wife has merch. So she's going to be putting my stuff up there, my icon, any symbols I come up with as we go through these different topics. So right now she has got hers up there. She's got a couple of her images up there. You know, her live shirts. Oh, a bunch of fun stuff. I just think it's cool. It's really cool to see this stuff. So there you go, live. And that's our second son there in all those images. Is actually our second son when he was still in the womb. So it's cool. It's cool. It's really crazy what they can do nowadays with some of their imaging. So, and then she's got Truth Destroys Deception. It's David Wood versus Muhammad. This is great. Look at that mug. You got a David Wood mug. It's great. Oh, it's so cool seeing this stuff come. And she's been working her butt off getting these up, getting these all set. She's going to be putting more on there. A lot more of her images. Even a mask. I'm normally not like gangbusters on masks, but poof, I'd wear that one. I'd wear that one. That would get a conversation going for sure. So I know she's got a bunch of other images she's looking at putting up. She's got vocab as moment writer. She'll probably be putting that one up. I know she's got what do you meme? Putting him up. So it will be a great time. So we're going to be going down there, and this merch is up there for everyone. I put the link in the description. Again, we'll be expanding it. She's got more videos coming up. Some of her Kuramagami may make it on mugs. We might do those as special orders. I don't know. Counts on what the website's actually going to limit us. And of course, you got the David Wood backpack. It's not a magic backpack, but hey, we don't want to take that one. That's their thing. Magic backpack's their thing. So, got that on. Other topics. YouTube kind of sucks. Just throwing that out there. YouTube kind of sucks. They have, over the last couple of years, I know this is really a shift, but again, it's going on to our next topic. So YouTube kind of sucks. They have been very destructive to their creators. Definitely those of us who are not of the same political or religious mindset. So they've been very against any sort of Christian channel on here. They've been against any sort of political channel, again, with different views than they have. To that end, I have been branching out in case my videos continue to be deleted, which, if you go back in time, some of them are no longer there. What happened to Ginja Ninja? I do not know. Don't know. Again, I've been out of it for too long. I really have. I had to drop off for a while. And sadly, I haven't been able to be as attentive, but now I am back. I've got everything set up with the house. I've learned more about how to put in a septic system than I ever wanted to know, and more about how much paperwork it actually takes. My goodness gracious, set aside a lot of time for paperwork. So, but back to the alternatives. I have now branched out to Rumble. You see my channel here. We're hitting Rumble. If you guys want to head on over there, it's a YouTube competitor, and I like them more. I really do. I like how they're treating their creators. If they continue to do this level of attendance on here, they are going to overtake YouTube because they will take all the creators away that you like. So they do what YouTube used to do, where you get paid for advertisement again, and you get ad revenue again, and you got different classifications that you can put your videos on. If they're only on Rumble, then you will get more ad pay, actually. So I may actually make content just for Rumble. I don't know, probably content that wouldn't be allowed on YouTube anyway. So we'll see. Yeah, my wife's saying we need to touch base with him. I agree. We need to touch base with Ginja Ninja and see what is going on with him, how he's doing, and maybe have him back on the channel again. It was always so much fun. Even though we don't agree on everything, it was a lot of fun talking to him, because we were able to step through a lot of stuff. And again, thinking it through logically, we were able to come to some interesting conclusions that I would not have come to on my own. So that's what the fun is of being able to just talk things out. So we got Rumble and we got BitChute, which again, BitChute is an alternative that I've been using for a little while. And it is doing great. Actually, I do a lot better on there than I do on YouTube. So BitChute does better than on YouTube. I normally get, eventually my videos get up to 400 or so views. Over time, it looks great to me. You know, better than YouTube, because I don't get hidden. I don't get pushed under the rug on BitChute or on Rumble. I've just been doing Rumble for maybe about a week now, just backing up my videos to it. So that's what's happening this year. That's where we're going to be heading. Again, I'm not abandoning YouTube. I believe that even in the darkness, we still need the light. And the light shines a lot brighter in dark places than it does in dimly lit areas. So I will be on BitChute, Rumble, and if I do end up doing any content that's solely for Rumble, I'll let you guys know also on YouTube that there is now stuff just solely for Rumble. And put a link in the description so you guys can go check it out too. Because I don't want to be, annoying. So it looks like you guys you're having a bit of an issue finding a job. I don't know. I can't say that I find very many places that aren't hiring right now. I mean, there seems to be a lot of places hiring. It's just a question of, are they hiring in your area, and also where do you live, because that can also affect it. I know in the middle of nowhere, we got a lot of places hiring. But that might not be like inner city or California. If California is having some issues down there. Some massive issues. And it's not the wildfires that are becoming more of a problem. So Q&A. Might as well do Q&A while we're at it. And then we'll wrap up with a prayer after that. Ha ha ha. My wife. I love my wife. She embarrasses me so much occasionally, though. But she is sweet. So, okay. So, yeah, it counts on where you guys are living, if you can find a job or not. And if they are one of those companies that is requiring vaccinations in order to work, which I do have some serious questions about that. As far as I'm considered, if any company requires you to be vaccinated, they need to take liability for that. That means for the rest of their life, they're liable for it. I go into a lot of factories in the line of work that I work. A lot of different labs. Everyone has their own PPE. But if I'm wearing PPE and that PPE has side effects, and because of me wearing that PPE, I now get, let's say, cancer, solely because of that, that company is liable. And in the same way, if you're requiring people to take a vaccine that's still in the experimental stages, you should also be liable for that if you're requiring that for your workers. So Oh my, no, I would not. I pass. I would agree with my wife. I love her, and I agree with her. So if you live down in Vegas, though, Doctor for the Block, I want to check that out. Google it. They have all the information you need there. But we will be down there, so if you want to swing by, then hey, we can hang for a bit. Do a little video together just for the fun of it. So, man, Vegas, man. I was down in Vegas, man. That is a pit of despair and depravity. And I'm not, and that's sugarcoating it. To put it mildly, that's sugarcoating it. Because, oh my gosh, that was horrible. Doctor Who? I used to be a fan of Doctor Who. Not so much anymore. So, yes, I am a big nerd. I do a lot of nerdy stuff. That's my wife. We got married, and the first thing we did was, let's see, on our, on our honeymoon, we ended up watching Psych. We watched Monk, The Mentalist, and then we went back, watched Stargate. Went through the whole series of Stargate up to a certain point. They started losing it after a while, and I just thought, you know what, it's just turning my stomach too much. As much as I love Stargate, no. And then we hit Doctor Who for a while. Fantastic. Still love some of the Doctor Who up until they got old. The old guy got in there, and they're like, it's getting a little too preachy here with some of the ideals that do not align with Christianity. So I'm going to have to pass, even though I love the series. So, wow, okay. Really? Stern, Vegas. No, they run all the casinos now. No, I'm just joking. I have no clue. I'm just saying, in general, I mean, that place, walk through the airport there, and it's like, hey, no, don't look over that way. Don't look over that way. Slot machines everywhere. Yeah, no, thank you. I'll pass. A little too much temptation there with gambling and losing everything, and yeah, don't want to go down that route. Never liked that route to begin with. Okay. Two-parter. What's my take on demonic spirits and new age stuff? Stuff that classifies a bunch of stuff. Do I think aliens could be demonic? Okay, let's tear this apart here. Let's take this apart. So, first of all, demonic spirits. Do demons exist? Yes. I'm assuming those are one and the same because although there are different classifications for demons, I don't think that there are just demonic spirits of their own. There are demons, and that's what you got. And yes, there are spiritual beings, so they're basically fallen angels, and in such, they still do retain some of their power and a bit of their authority. Although, again, in a fallen state. And I think we find that throughout the Bible. New Age stuff. This really is a three-parter. New Age stuff, separate question. I guess maybe, unless you're talking about demonic spirits being part of New Age stuff, which again there is. I'm not 100% familiar with every part of New Age theology or philosophy. Tell you truthfully, it sounds like demonism. It sounds a lot like demonism, where you are your own god, or there's just this entity of God out there somewhere. I've had to deal with New Age people before, and to say that they're believe themselves to be God, yeah, I'm going to be the first one to admit I would be a very poor God. Don't worship me. I would be a horrendous God. I'm just putting that out there right now. No. First thing I probably would have done is I would probably hit the reset button in the Garden of Eden. I would be like, oh, you guys screwed up. Reset. Control Alt Delete this thing. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not. I would be a bad guy. I wouldn't be that merciful. I've got a long way still to go for myself, my own development. And it would be horrible. I think my catchphrase would be, I smite thee. I just have to keep restarting. Oh, it would get repetitive and then I get lazy. And then aliens could be demonic. If you look at probably the best one to look at as regards to that now, I don't think they are demonic of their own. It could be. There could be that aspect to them. It could be just aliens. It could be of the demonic realms themselves. Some of these sort of interactions that we hear of, unless they're just lying, which also could be a thing. People do lie on occasion. But an interesting one to look at is Out of the Silent Planet, that whole series by C.S. Lewis. My gosh, it's been such a long time since I actually sat down and read C.S. Lewis. Oh, no, I'm slipping. Considering I used to read that all the time. But yeah, that's Out of the Silent Planet. It's a great one to read. Great science fiction. Well, he did his science fiction, and then J.R.R. Tolkien was supposed to be doing a time travel, and J.R.R. Tolkien never got to his. So done. I would have loved to have seen time traveling elves. I would have found that very interesting. Let's see. So how's the baby? Good. Good. We have 2 sons now. Like I said. One was born this year. Well, not this year, last year. Ooh, geez, I'm not used to this thing. I'm not used to this new year. But last year. And he's growing well. He's been a bit of a pain, but very different already. My wife says, hungry, always hungry. Yes, he is. So if you're asking about little boy or the little baby, I think that might be the best way of saying it. So little boy, the one I used to have on here with me occasionally, he's doing well. He's greatly looking forward to our trip or flight. He loves planes and he's looking forward to flying. So unfortunately with YouTube's policies, I'll probably not be putting him on very often. Just because I don't want my content deleted because they decided that now you can't have your kids on here. So maybe that might be a Rumble only thing where I do updates on him. I don't know. They keep changing stupid rules on YouTube. I can't keep up. So yeah, he's not feeling very good. The baby's not feeling very good. But he's getting much better. They've been sick for the last couple weeks. So, oh, that's cool. They added a new feature on StreamYard I didn't know about. It's pretty cool. I can star your guys' comments and refer back to them later. That's nice. I like that. I've never seen that before. Maybe it was always there and I just didn't notice it. That could be. But yeah, but little boy, he's growing up big. He's talking a lot. Maybe I'll eventually have him come on here and say hi. So we'll see. Maybe next time I'll let him stay up late and come on here and say hi. But was I ever into comics? A little bit, not much. Comics were a lot of comics were before my time. Actually, I came in at the very tail end of when comics were cool, and I watched more TV shows than anything else, and video games. Big in video games when I was younger. Still am big into video games. I'm getting a little boy into it. Him and me will sit down and we'll play Ark together because he loves dinosaurs. So we'll sit there and we'll tame some dinosaurs together and have a lot of fun. yeah, well, as far as demonic forces itself, I have had quite a few issues with that. I've had demonic attacks where it's also been where it's been physical, it's been dreams, it's been pretty crazy. My father has some crazy stories of his own. It's really, it gets scary. It really is scary. So Marvel or DC? So I'd say growing up, I really, I like both. I really did like both. I like Spider-Man, I like Batman, I like Superman. I played Batman a lot, Batman and Robin a lot. Then again, I grew up on the old Batman shows. So I watched a lot of old shows. I did enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe for quite a while, up until their recent decisions. Although, again, I do admit that the new Spider-Man one, I greatly enjoyed that new Spider-Man one. That was really, really good. Um, I am looking forward to Doctor Strange coming out. Not sure about this new Batman coming out, but we'll see. I've really sort of just dulled down my expectations whenever it came to superhero movies, just because I mean, Iron Man, all the Iron Man series, I love those. Most of the Spider-Mans I've watched, all the Spider-Mans I've watched, what do you mean most of them? All of them. Again, we go every year to the new Marvel movie up until Miss Marvel, and I have many, many issues with her as far as story writing goes, and the fact that she is a royal, well, funny words. So, yeah, I had a bunch of issues with that writing wise. That just, ugh. When they put her in there was a massive mistake. Ooh, well, nowadays, not nowadays, but more recently, comic book writing, you got a new opportunity with that with online. You can go ahead and publish your own website and have your own comic book series on there. And if you do it right, you could even do YouTube videos of your comics where you go through each image, which could be interesting, could get you some traction. Might not be bad. Leave it up to the Lord, let Him guide you. Tell you truthfully, because if you're doing it with the Lord, it's going to succeed. It's going to accomplish whatever the Lord wants it to accomplish. And that by itself is worth more than anything else. So let's be honest, that's how this channel started. Way back when I was doing my own personal Bible studies, and it's like, I'll do these Bible studies, I'll record them, I'll throw them online, and then I'll leave them for 3 months and see what happens. It went well. I'm still here. Write a world builder. Then in that case, I'd recommend writing. Web comics are very good. My lovely wife agrees. And then, in fact, I say that's probably the only comics I really got into was web comics. I enjoyed those greatly. But as far as world building, I'd actually say writing might be more your deal then. You're not much of an artist. Writing wouldn't be bad. You start building a world. It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. I admit my dad's an author, so he does a lot of writing. In fact, once he gets his first few books out, I'll have him on here with me. I'll show you guys where to go get them. Let's see here. I know I've done a lot of world building with my dad's book and me going back, bouncing ideas back and forth. Bring comics back into mainstream. Well, that is an uphill battle, unless you can think of a unique way of doing it, which I don't know if you can anymore, just because movies have really taken, being able to do movies and cartoons have really taken over what used to be the comic book genre area. And even then, video games have definitely taken a chunk out of that as well. So interactive stories are much more powerful, I guess, than most comics. Definitely, if you're not an artist yourself, you'd have to find an artist that'd be willing to do it for you, and that's takes a lot. Complicated. Well, that's a pretty big gosh darn goal. I'll be honest with you, but that's a big goal. Single-handedly save the industry. Well, I mean, you could give it a shot. That'd be bad. I'd say you probably need to look at changing up the game and looking at it differently. So a novel or novella, or what are you looking at doing? I mean, that's a large journey to go on. It really is. My dad's been writing his stories for a long time before he ever got ready to actually publish it. There's a lot of work that needs to go into that. There's a lot more to it. But the difference between novel and novella is length. So, yeah, that's just true. So, what's the goal of your book to be? Let me ask you that. What would be the idea of your story? Your main desire to accomplish with it? Been working on a story for 8+ years. Yeah. How much of it do you actually have written? Because you got my email address on there. I'd be happy to take a look at it with you. See, what I'd end up doing is probably just turning it into an audio file and then listening to it. But nevertheless, if you send me, yeah, I'd be willing to listen to it, see if it's any good. We might have you on here to talk about it. Who knows? I got a new publishing agency that's looking at getting started up. I'd be taking on more Christian oriented books, because right now you got main gatekeepers who are watching what gets published and allowing what gets published out on the main platforms. I guess will be, in the bookstores, actually going to a publisher, actually getting it published. There are only a few, and they're very, very particular, and they're not pro-Christian. Well, finding your chapters would be important. No, if you want to get it done, you have to make it a priority. Just like me with these live streams, right? You have to make it a priority and you have to accomplish it. Just like with the comics, you have to make it a priority and you have to always step forward towards it, even if it's a little step each day. Accomplish a little bit each day. Half an hour. Spend half an hour doing it, or an hour doing it. Try to get some of it down. Now, with writing, I know that's a bit more of a pain, because you start getting in the mindset, you start writing it out and thinking how the story's going to be. Find someone that likes your story that you can bounce ideas off of. I know my father and I do that with his story all the time. We'll bounce ideas back and forth, and I'll remember parts of his story that he might not remember. well, that's not bad. It's not a bad idea to put a Christian message into them. That would be fantastic. Again, I don't know what that publishing studio is going to be looking for, but we'll see what happens with it. Yeah, so do I. Procrastination is a pain. But again, you gotta put it as a priority. If you want to accomplish it, you have to put it as a priority. When I'm doing these YouTube videos, I didn't want to have to come out. I was enjoying a game with my son. I didn't want to have to come out here and do this, but I made this a priority, and he had to go to bed anyway, so it kind of helped that I had to put him to bed. Or my wife actually did. I didn't do it. But yeah, you gotta make it a priority. Every day that slips by is another day that you won't be able to accomplish your goals. Again, even if it's a small bit, sit down, do an outline, make a priority for Saturdays. Do a writing Saturday. Find yourself a writers group. That's more important, I think, than a lot, is finding yourself a good writer's guild. So find yourself a writer's guild, join them, and have them help keep you accountable. There you go. It's around like 30. It's amazing how much C.S. Lewis's and J.R.R. Tolkien's writings have really impacted most genres in some regard. Start using them as a measuring point. Crazy. Think of that. Now, those two were in the same writers guild together. In fact, they challenged each other quite a bit to write. Like I was saying beforehand, the C.S. Lewis's space trilogy was inspired because of J.R.R. Tolkien pushing him to do it. And then J.R.R. Tolkien was supposed to do a time traveling series, but never ended up doing it. Yeah, time traveling dwarves would have been interesting. I try to be a bit tactful of how you approach that, not making it too blaringly obvious, unless you really want it to be blaringly obvious, because you might have a lot of Christians pick up the book, but let's be honest, the messages we're trying to get out aren't primarily just supposed to be for Christians. They are to be for the world in general. So just, I guess, be aware of your target, what you're trying to hit, who you're trying to reach. So yeah, I'd encourage you guys to sit down, pick a Saturday, sit down, make a list of priorities, make a list of steps, and then either start that Saturday or the following Saturday and start checking off your list. That way you can accomplish it. See, if not, you'll always be wondering, what if? What if you actually did it? And if I didn't do that, I might be sitting there saying, what if I would have done live streaming? And we would never have met. So I think I'll go ahead and wrap it on up here, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, because I have to say it, because the algorithms are a pain in the rear end and they seem to hate me anyway. Hit the like button. If this is after it's done live streaming, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Upvote it on Rumble, whatever that is, I'm not sure. I'm still getting the grasps on how Rumble works. So, and guys, thank you for joining me. And we will go ahead and see if I can remember where that was. I know we had that prayer request that I wanted to hit. We got jobs. I got that one. Aha. Found it. Just had to scroll up enough. Yes, my wife's pray before you leave. Don't forget to pray. Because I honestly sort of absent-minded. So, go in one ear and out the other. And my wife will remember that. So your girlfriend's going through some trouble right now. We'll go ahead and pray for her. Go ahead and pray for the job situation. See, my wife, so nice. For jobs and for girlfriend and for sickness. Okay. If everyone would take, let me get this QNA stuff off. That doesn't seem very prayer oriented. There we go. Okay. So if you guys take an attitude of prayer, we'll go ahead and end with this prayer. Lord, we come before you. We thank you for this time that we've been able to spend together, that we've been able to talk and make plans for the future. I pray that your hand will be upon us as we each go and pursue our own callings. Give us wisdom and really insight in how to do your work, as well as the motivation to do it. Please don't allow our own laziness and procrastination to get into our way. I lift up the situation with jobs. Lord, I pray that you will open up the right doors at the right times, and that they will see your mercy through that. And through those jobs, you give them opportunity to spread your word and to show your love. I pray for hardships your girlfriend's going through right now. I pray that the Lord will be upon that situation. They'll give you wisdom and guidance and how to deal with it, how to be there for her, and we'll give this opportunity to you guys as an opportunity to grow together and towards him. Let's pray for any sickness that we are dealing with, for a little baby boy, that he recovers and that he is feeling much better. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.